Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Symphogear episode 9, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. Sorry for that, I was prepared to record episode 9, indeed. I was prepared to record, but as they say, someone was wrong on the internet, and I couldn't pass on that bit of discussion on the C# server. So I left all my recordings set up, Symphogear episode opened and just waiting for me to press play, and I just had to correct some people. Okay, regardless of that. Symphogear XV, episode 9. Shit hit the fan. Or, as they say, there was a good line I heard. Defecation hit the ventilation. I think that line was used in, like, Nikkei? Or, no, it wasn't Nikkei, it was Arknights, an obscure wanderer story. Yeah, defecation hit the ventilation, because Miku and, not Isharmla, that's Arknights again, Shemha, Miku and Shemha seem to have merged into a singular being. I don't quite know how exactly it worked, because something went wrong, from what I can glean at least. Because my expectation would be that it is Shemha's power, Shemha's energy, Shemha's essence that would enter Miku and possess her, use Miku's body as her vessel. But from what Carol said, it was Miku that got sucked up by Shemha. So the merger went the complete opposite way than what usually happens. I wonder what is the reason for that, and what will be the effects. Could it be, perhaps, that... could it be that maybe... It's a bit of a long shot and a bit of a stretch, but could it be that Miku would possess Shemha's powers and Shemha's consciousness the same way, or a similar way, that Elf9 all this time had a little bit of Carol inside of her, and that Carol personality awakened? That would be interesting. If Miku could potentially gain control of her own body, of her own actions, with Shemha being her second personality, so to speak, being stuck somewhere in her head all the time, and perhaps coming out when shit hits the fan and Miku needs some power, or, I'm just kind of spitballing here. But I do wonder what significance does it have that the merger happened the opposite way. Because they wouldn't mention that, they wouldn't do it this way, if it was an insignificant detail. Right, what else happened in the previous episode? Carol, using her 7 billion songs, managed to give everybody their X-Drive, I think, Henshin, so everybody is in their final form, everybody's prepared to kick some ass. Hibiki, of course, entered her Chrysopia form. I don't know what's the proper name for it. I'm just gonna call it Chrysopia, because that's what's going on. She turns into gold. Or rather, her Symphogear turns into gold. Very interesting opposition to Miku/Shemha, who is entirely silver. So, silver and gold won't save my rotting soul. It's gonna be interesting. Anything else of particular significance happened? Well, Fudo being Fudo, cackling maniacally like the villain he is. Apparently everything's going according to his keikaku. So we'll see what that Keikaku is, besides just power. I want to be God and have power. Because sure, that is a motivation, but I wonder if there is a little bit more nuance to it. Or not, maybe he's just power hungry. That's also perfectly valid motivation for a villain. And also, of course, we can't forget that Tsubasa is mind controlled by Melee, at least to some degree. We don't know how much she's mind controlled and how much influence Fudo has over her exactly. I wonder. And oh, of course, another very important thing, our main alchemists, Millie, and the other two, whose name, sorry, I forgot. Milark, and I can't remember the other two. They started coughing up blood, bleeding from their eyes, because of course that was also part of Fudo's plan. He no longer has the need for them because the god has been created, so why keep them alive? That's what you get for trusting the villain. That's what you get for trusting the antagonist. It really seems to be a running theme in Symphogear. People trusting the least trustworthy motherfuckers on this planet and then being super extremely surprised that they've been betrayed. Yeah, it happens. No shit that it happens. I wonder if they will actually get out of that pickle somehow. I wouldn't expect them to die in episode 9 or 10. I would expect them, if anything, to die, to sacrifice themselves perhaps near the finale. Although that would mirror the previous trio of alchemists who sacrificed themselves and died. So I wonder what's actually gonna happen. I wonder if perhaps, again, purely my speculation, purely my fan theory, so to speak, I wonder if our trio of alchemists will actually join S.O.N.G, because Fudo betrayed them, so where else can they turn? And perhaps Melee undoes the mind control on Tsubasa, and then Fudo is surprised that he has no control and that's his undoing. That would be one way to go about it, for sure. But we, of course, cannot forget that our alchemists aren't entirely redeemable, right? The previous alchemists were, for the most part, they weren't, as far as I'm concerned, I think, they weren't just killing people willy-nilly, randomly. They were killing mostly military people who are guarding some secrets, some artifacts. That's where their body count comes from. Meanwhile, those three just deleted 10,000 people from existence during Tsubasa's concert. A little bit harder to redeem that, isn't it? So, I wonder where it's gonna go. In today's episode, we will, and by we I mean Hibiki and perhaps the other girls as well, will face off against Shemha, and that's a good question. What's gonna happen? Are they going to solve the issue in this episode? Are they going to free Miku from Shemha's influence, or is it going to be something that's going to be left for future episode? Or are we going to do the thing where something interrupts them and they separate, split apart, and Miku slash Shemha reappears only in the finale? I wonder, are we going to tackle the issue immediately, or are we going to postpone it in one way or another? Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I had to say about this episode. So how about we stop talking and start watching, right? And to do that, you are, of course, going to need your subs. And I'm of course going to need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm gonna have to ask you for your support on Patreon, for example, link in the description below, or if you don't want to spend any money, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that out of the way, we can start watching episode 9 of Symphogear XV in 3, 2, 1, go. Another clip show? Also, I'm just noticing, Miku really likes wearing purple. She's just gonna say Dato Shitemo and everything's gonna be fine. But how is it going to be made fine? That's the main drive, of course. It's the journey, not the goal. I really like the beginning of this opening song. We are still yet to see Fine offer any sort of help. That's really a headbanger of a song, isn't it? Oh, so apparently someone told me this is the Scorpion at the beginning of the series that led them to the thing, and sorry, that can was Ergetlam. Okay, Hibidad. Your powers use a lot of energy. I mean, why else? On probation? Excusez-moi? Okay, so we are delaying the final combat. Yeah, you would. Oh, the Henshind? Something's going fucky-wacky. Question is what? Oh, the mind control thing. that were used on Miku before. Okay, interesting. Shadow stitching. Shadow weave. Yeah, I can. There were all sorts of signs. Chris isn't wrong. She's really not one for scheming. Okay, what's going on? The what now? Is he like trying to create a... Okay. Meaning who? Yeah, your mind control isn't as strong as you thought it is. And he's being ridiculous again because songs save the country time and time and time and time again. Okay, finally, about time. Okay. What? When did age stop you? When the fuck did age stop you? I mean, slaying this skin is perfectly reasonable. Fudo is a net detriment to the world as a whole, so... Figured. Maybe there actually fucking is, honestly. Does he know something? Was she like cursed as a child or something like that? Wouldn't surprise me at that point. Kick the door down. And here comes the noise. You no longer have agents. Why? Why no amalgam? I fucking hate politics. We're doing some patricide, just, nothing much. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Paint the room red with his brains. It is moments like this that I really appreciate Oyuki Yumi no Kaina finale, you know? Throw Canada's name at her, that's gonna snap her right out. I love her ankle blades. just a ball of destruction. Who's bleeding? Oh, okay, Maria. Yeah. Oh, a slap was all that was needed. Okay. Simple enough. That was surprisingly simple. I know that Toku no Jutsu is powerful, but didn't you bring snipers with you? No. Okay, sure. I mean, I'm glad we get to see Genjuro fighting. Don't get me wrong. It's been a while since he was able to go all out, but there was a much simpler solution to the issue of Fudo being alive. Easier ways to kill people than punch them. Yes. He really should have. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda hate the let's not kill the evil people because we're gonna be like them that's so prevalent in anime. Hajime from Arifureta had the good idea, honestly. He's one of my favorite protagonists for a reason. Oh, shit! Just like that, huh? Just like that. Okay. Yeah, don't let your guard down. Yeah, ain't gonna work no more. And of course he has a gun. Nobody else had a gun to go against him. He has a gun. All of it could have been avoided. Just saying. We protect them because we are strong. Or that, sure, that also works. Ogawa, I don't know, grab him and teleport to the hospital or something. Listen to my song! Listen to My Song was the first opening. Was it? Or the first ending? Can't remember. But it was one of the first. I hope. I pray to Shemha that Fudo actually fucking dies. If he's still alive at the end of this season, I swear on me mom, VX is getting 0 out of 10 on Mal. That's a lot of muscles. Fire Wind Blades defeated? Yeah, he's not a human. And you're delusional again. Maria, do you want to help maybe? Oh, amalgam. Okay, we're getting second amalgam. What's her weapon gonna be? Ooh, that's very nice. I love amalgam forms. Parry that, you filthy casual. Please let this hit kill. Strike him down. He wants it. Fulfill his dying wish. Please. What the fuck, Genjuro? What the flying fuck are you doing? Are you serious? You're just gonna get double tapped in the head by Fudo the first chance he gets. I hate it. Similar kanji? Yeah, he actually might be onto something, I feel. Perhaps the curse of Balal is the blessing of Balal. "22 minutes, we're probably not gonna get anything after credits. I know Symphogear is overall, I'm not talking about specific moments, but overall, it's a positive series, right? About hope, forgiveness, repentance, right? Those sorts of things. There's always hope to save the world. Everybody is worth giving a second chance to, right? This kind of a message. So I get it why Fudo was spared from like a meta perspective, meta standpoint. I get why he was spared. But that doesn't stop me from absolutely hating that fact. Honestly. It's one of the things that absolutely piss me off in pretty much 99% of Japanese media. Okay, after credits scene after all. What's gonna start up? Some cannon directed at Earth, probably. But yeah, to continue my thought, it's the thing that I absolutely loathe in Japanese media, the reluctance for killing villains. Killing their grunts, no problem. Fucking slaughter their entire army. But when it's time to kill the villain, no. I don't want to become a murderer. Motherfucker, you killed half the country in pursuit of this guy. You know what I'm saying? I hated it in Shield Hero Season 1 that Raftalia spared that fat guy, that slave trader. Because, no, if I do that, I'll be the same as you. And I fucking hate it here. Solving Fudo's issue is so extremely simple, so extremely easy. They went about it the whole roundabout way that gave us a couple of cool duels. I'm not gonna lie, couple of great fight scenes, but ultimately it resulted in a wet fart of a nothing. Okay, let's watch it again, shall we? Full screen. There we go. Yeah, last time on Dragon Ball Z. I did not expect to see Hibiki's father. I honestly thought that after his appearance in that one season, where there were all those themes of family, fathers, and whatnot, that he's just gonna be forgotten for the most part. They wanted to do something with her father. They got that father into the show. The show kind of suffered for it. That season kind of suffered for it. Okay, that didn't work. Let's just remove him, put him on the sidelines, and continue with the story proper. I really didn't expect him to make an appearance. I really didn't. Now at least he's a little bit reformed, so that's good. I also like the fact that he lives alone. He's not back with Hibiki's mother. I like it. If he and Hibiki's mother were now making a happy family, that would be really pushing it. That would be really stretching it. I like that he still lives alone. Has contact with Hibiki, has contact with Hibiki's mother, but things are not fine yet. I don't know. We'll see about that or not. I really like that it's a bit of a realistic approach, right? Once you lose someone's trust, it's not easy to regain it. I like that he didn't just magically get back together with Hibiki's mother. So, actually, his portrayal in this episode, in this season, I do enjoy. Honestly. He's actually a cool character in this episode. I like him. I enjoyed scenes with him and Hibiki. He realizes that he's a deadbeat, that what he did was wrong, but he's trying to make some amends. He doesn't have the power to do an awful lot, but he can treat Hibiki to some ramen, he can offer some words of encouragement, right? I like it. He's doing what he can. He can't do much, but what he can do, he's doing. Really cool. I like it. And of course, Sleeper Agent activated. And I wonder if it's the same technology that Ver used to control Miku and Senshoujin before. Or is it something else? Because that was a helmet and this is a cape kind of thing. Also, how did that get onto her? Was it attached to Miku's body when she was transported to the facility? Was, I don't know, the bracer tampered with? So that when Shemha henshins, this thing appears on her back? How did Fudo manage to get control of Shemha? That's what I want to know. Yeah, Sleeper Agent. Everything I do for this country. I'm a sentinel, yada yada yada. I still trust her. Yeah, indeed. I like that Chris mentioned that Tsubasa is too simple to betray. Yeah, she is way too simple to do any sort of scheming, any sort of betrayal. You point at an enemy, you say Tsubasa fight, and Tsubasa fights. And that's more or less her character. That's more or less the extent of her, well, I'm not gonna say mental prowess, but you know what I mean. She's simple. Enemy, fight enemy, good. Not into scheming, into worrying about the country, right? Oh, if I take Miku and do this and do that, that will help the country because the politics with the US. No, that's not Tsubasa. So what she did was very uncharacteristic. The divine power fit for our country. We will have a whole new level of deterrence. This is interesting. It's not going to be a Symphogear. Post robe made from the Shenshoujing. Wasn't Shenshoujing destroyed, though? In Shenshoujing's blast. When the blast from Shenshoujing was redirected, it was redirected at Miku and Hibiki. It destroyed Gangnir shards and it destroyed Shenshoujing. So why does he mention Shenshoujing here? I don't suppose Miku merged with it? If so, then it wasn't foreshadowed in any way, shape, or form. Did he get his hands on shards of Shenshoujing fished out from the bottom of the sea? Unlikely. I thought the power of Shenshoujing is complete vaporization, annihilation of anything Symphogear related. So that parts of Shenshoujing survived would be unlikely. Though the one who put it together is long gone. Ver? Nastasia? Fine? I wonder. Ver didn't really fuck around with alchemy. Neither did Nastasia, nor Fine. So who does he mean? I wonder. Who does he mean? And yeah, we see some signs that the mind control isn't as perfect, right? Because Tsubasa still has her doubts, still has her thoughts. They are simply overridden somehow, to some extent. But her friendship, her love for her friends is enough to stop her from killing them, despite the orders, the mind control telling her to do so. Right? I like this detail, that the mind control isn't absolute. It's more like a suggestion. It kind of twists your thoughts, twists your intentions, doesn't just override them fully. Lethal force, even towards Tsubasa. Hibiki is currently under probation and the others are under age. When was the last time age stopped anybody? This is the first. So I wonder if it's because it's like an official government action, government operation. They can't hire underage people. Some sort of political bullshit like that? Probably. Whatever the reason, slaying one's skin is unforgivable. Fudo doesn't have those qualms. Fudo doesn't have those qualms. See, that's another reason why I'm really not fond, that's putting it lightly, on the idea of sparing the villain. The villain won't spare you. The villain won't spare the hero. No way in hell. That gives the villain always gives the villain an edge. Always gives them some level of being able to do things that the hero cannot. Morals and qualms. And I really don't like that. Because more often than not, the villain can be absolutely bodied in 10 seconds flat by the sidekick of the hero. Right? The sidekick that just carries around the hero's luggage, right? Has a backpack and maybe some rusty bronze sword. Well, bronze cannot rust, but you know what I mean. And that random guy named like Clark can just kill the villain by stabbing him in the heart. But the hero always jumps in front. No, Clark, don't do it. Do you really want to become like him? And then the villain stabs the hero in the back. Because he has no qualms. He has no morals. And I understand that the message is we should keep our morals despite immoral people having an edge over us because of that. We should keep our morals despite it being a weakness and all that. But there are times when you don't do that. When you have someone like Fudo, who killed however many people, who is a danger to your friend, a direct danger, fucking kidnapped her, who wants to bring an ancient god upon this earth to rule the world and fuck knows what else, who brainwashed his own his own granddaughter. You don't cuff him and put him in a jail cell and say, no, 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 you did bad, shame on you. You behead him and take the head away in case he has some regeneration capabilities that can regrow him, or you burn the body and stuff the head with, I don't know, sand and put it on a pike. That's what you do with characters like that. I guess that's why I'm rather fond of stories with anti-heroes and grey kind of heroes, right? I really enjoyed Arifureta, for example, because Hajime has no qualms. You're a danger to me, you're a villain, bang bang, you're no longer a danger. Simple. I really like Arifureta for that reason. I really liked at least early Shield Hero, when Naofumi was also this kind of a cold asshole, right? Oh, you're in my way. Well, I'm gonna have to do something about it, and I'm gonna use underhanded tactics, and I'm gonna use strength, and I'm gonna use whatever the fuck I can to defeat you. I have no qualms. Later on, not Hajime, oh no, not Hajime, Naofumi mellowed out, and it's still a good, serious Shield Hero, but not the same as it was at the beginning. But yeah, I really enjoy Overlord, for example, because again, Ainz has no qualms. You stand in my way, well, you can join me, or you can just be grasp hato, and you're no longer a threat. I really don't enjoy the morals at any cost kind of storytelling. Sometimes it works, but more often than not, it just doesn't. And in this case, it honestly didn't work for me. And I guess we're gonna continue watching this episode. We're gonna continue skipping through it, and I might get a little bit more in depth about it. I'll bring Tsubasa back, of course, you will. What were they thinking there is gonna happen exactly? Fudo is not gonna have any sort of security, no, they're just gonna be able to barge in. Well, Life verifies that, and of course Fudo has security, of course he has alkanoids, why would he not? You know he's working with alchemists, for fuck's sakes, and you know that alkanoids can be given away like candy. You put your hand in a bag, grab a handful of crystals, throw them on the ground, boom, alkanoids. They're the gruntiest of grunts. How did you not think there will be alkanoids here? Shoot! Problem solved. Sure, maybe Fudo would be able to, like, swish swash, deflect those bullets or what have you, but the first instinct, you see that guy, you shoot. Oyuki Yumi no Kaina spoilers. Again, hand goes down once spoilers are finished. Finale of Oyuki Yumi no Kaina, the Admiral's mecha is defeated. The mecha is destroyed, the Admiral rips off his headset that he uses to control the mecha, gets on board up top the vessel and starts ordering, right? Don't fall back, attack them, attack Atlant, and he gets silenced by a headshot. Just like that. Just like that. That's what you do. You don't get into a 1v1 duel. You don't get into a discussion. You don't let them monologue. You shoot them in the fucking head. I really, really, really enjoyed that episode of Oyuki Yumi no Kaina. It was the first time in the history of this channel that I actually barely laughed out loud at something and I screamed at the top of my lungs. A loud, resounding yes. And my neighbors probably hate me for it. But the situation warranted it. Okay, Oyuki Yumi no Kaina spoilers end. Watch it. It ended amazingly. Great series. And we're still waiting for the movie, so the movie might even be better. We'll see. Okay. At this moment, I was ready to forgive them that they didn't just shoot Fudo at the first sight, because it gives us duel between Fudo and Genjiro. And we scarcely ever see Genjiro fighting, so it's worth it. To a degree, of course. Talk no jutsu, that's why we need the divine power, spare me your lectures. You said you'd protect people, not with divine power. This is a very interesting attack. She just turns into a Samus and bouncy balls around with her blades. You protect them because they're weak, how arrogant. And really not much was needed to break the spell. Surprisingly little. It's like you depend on being able to protect people to have a reason to leave. Slap. When did you start caring more about protecting yourself than others? And spell breaks. I honestly expected something more is going to be needed. I fully expected Canada to be brought up. Would Canada agree with what you're doing right now? You know, some cheesy line like that. But no, all that was needed was a mention of it's like you depend on being able to protect people to have a reason to live, and a slap. Some very, very cool duel between Genjiro and Fudo. I really did enjoy it. No, it's not this moment. Oh, that's an interesting animation shortcut. Oh, that's cool. His hands are just a PNG that slides around. You see that? With some movement lines and whatnot, but it's just a PNG overlaid on top of him. But in movement, you don't notice that. It's a very interesting shortcut. Also, I really like the smear on his eye. I know, weird thing to bring up, but that smear was cool. Of course, Genjiro is able to catch the blade just like that. But this is the moment I start kind of hating it. Because I saw what Genjiro is going for initially, right? Straight hand for the heart, just punch him through the chest and keep the heart still beating behind his back. That's the move he was going for, and I was really excited for it, but then he turned it into a fist, and that was his undoing. Because, again, Fudo has no qualms against that. Fudo will do whatever. Fudo will rip your heart out. Fudo will choke slam you into the ground. Now, this scene kinda took away from the seriousness of the fight scene, not gonna lie. Just, it's a very Looney Tunes kind of scene with Genjuro just embedded head first into the ground and perfectly, perfectly straight body. Some serious core strength on him. Yeah, if only it struck me with intent to kill. He really should have. This is our chance. Transfer control authority over the divine power to us. Now for the direct feedback system. Why did it not work? Did she not transfer the authority? Or did she, by mistake, just free Shemha? Also, this is surprising. This is very surprising. I did not, in my wildest dreams, expect them to die just like that. Unceremoniously. Completely unceremoniously. I guess it kinda sorta fits their theme of being weak. Right? They say so themselves. They are weak. They have no chance in direct combat. And they are, all things considered, just grunts. Just mobs. Nobody who matters in the grand scheme of things. Fudo could have gotten any other group of alchemists, or found some other way. They were just the easiest way to go about it. Ultimately, they didn't matter. So it is, on one hand, a fitting end from the story perspective. On the other hand, leaves me very... wanting something more. Right? It's a very abrupt end to them, assuming they stay dead, which is not a given. But if they do stay dead, it's not an ending to their thread. It's the thread being cut abruptly. They don't die in a blaze of glory. They don't get killed during a fight. They don't sacrifice themselves. They don't get redeemed. They don't get put in the jail. They don't get sent to Northern Pole or, there is no proper end to them. They just unceremoniously die. Surprising. Very surprising. And yet, they aren't going to kill Fudo. There is no problem killing one villain, but there is problem killing another. There is a bit of a... Okay, I mean, again, I get why. Shemha versus the Alchemist, it's a villain killing villains, or an antagonist killing antagonists. Antagonists and villains are allowed to be evil. Protagonists are not allowed to be evil. Protagonists must be good. They must be they must forgive people. They must seek for the best in people, right? Again, I don't like it, but it seems that's just the way it is in Japanese media. Protagonists aren't allowed to do evil things. They aren't allowed to do even morally ambiguous things. They are only allowed to do the objectively... Well, you can't even argue objectively good thing. Is letting Fudo live an objectively good thing? Not in my mind. You can't exactly jail him, he's just going to rip the jail cell off and go on a killing spree. Right? So you can't do the objectively good, objectively moral thing of putting him in the court of Hag and trialing him and putting him in jail for the end until the end of his life. It's not even guaranteed he's going to die. The walls will crumble and he's gonna walk out of the ruins at the ripe age of 500. Right? Yeah, I guess I subscribe to the belief that sometimes you need to fight fire with fire, right? Sometimes morally wrong actions are needed to stop actions that are even more morally wrong. Sometimes you need to kill someone to prevent thousands of people from dying. Unfortunately, Japanese authors do not subscribe to that mentality. And of course, again, Fudo doesn't play fair. Of course he has a gun. Why would he not have a gun? And we see Tsubasa's father die. We protect them because they're worth protecting. His final words. How do you spare him? How do you let him live? Honestly. Listen to my song that I really like this line. Call back to the first season. Henshin. And fight of Tsubasa versus Fudo. Very cool fight. Very cool fight, but again, the resolution of it, not so cool. Of course, he's able to parry that. Of course, he has some bullshit muscle magic that he can use to strengthen himself. Firewind Blade defeated. Songs can't save the world. People will unite in understanding what utter foolishness. Their ancestors who built this nation didn't spill their blood and sacrifice their lives for such folly. And Amalgam unlocked. Again, I wonder how does it work exactly? Do they have... I think I asked that question before. Do their Symphogear have, like, I don't know, a SIM card slot somewhere so that they can connect to 4G network and they can get all that data remotely and remotely unlock and lock features? How does it work exactly? Or I guess in this case it might just be a signal to Tsubasa that, hey, you're in the clear, use Amalgam, and she just can? Which is also kind of surprising. That she just can, just like that. When Hibiki used it, it was that big sort of moment, kinda, and nobody else used it. It was just Hibiki. And here, Tsubasa can, just like that, she knows how to use Amalgam form. No training necessary, no nothing, just snap, and she's henshined. I shouldn't dwell on that, of course, but it's worth taking note of. And yeah, sacrificing her defense for sheer offensive strength. I really love the Amalgam, the Chrysopia forms. I love how organic they are. I love the golden petals. This is some amazing henshin sequence, except it's... I thought it's her just getting some petals attached to her, like a full suit of armor. She becomes a heavy armored footman knight, essentially. Like a crusader armor kind of thing. But no, all of those petals converge to form her sword. Her big-ass, weird-looking, but also very cool-looking sword. And again, I like the Amalgam form because it all looks like just solid metal, solid slabs of gold. There's no technobabble anywhere. There aren't any wires, there aren't any pipes. It's just metal and flame. And this country needs not sentinels but a monster to defend it. Why? Why, Genjiro? How could I face my brother after allowing his legacy to become a monster? Your brother is fucking dead. And the guy you're protecting is who killed him. And if you kill a monster, do you become a monster? I killed an ant yesterday. Am I an ant? Not really. Are people who, I don't know, anti-terrorist squads who kill bandits who hold people hostage, do they become bandits? Do they become monsters? No. No. I know that it probably makes sense in, like, Japanese media culture. Again, the whole thing of if you kill him, you will become like him kind of bullshit. But I really don't like it. I really don't. I really don't like it. Fudo will bring them no share of grief. No, that's not how you say it. Fudo will fuck them up again. And if he doesn't, it would make even less sense. Like, Fudo is behind Genjuro right now. He can just stand up, stab him through the back. Why doesn't he? Is he reformed by... Is Fudo reformed now? Or is he, like, broken? Or... No, you can't say... You can't tell me that's the case. See, this is the weird situation right now that you write yourself into when you do something like that. Genjuro protected Fudo, and Fudo just doesn't do anything. He's just sitting there. He's not going to use the fact that he's been saved. He's not going to use the fact that Genjuro is turned back to him. He's not even going to try to run. No, nothing, really. And there is no good way to get out of this situation. Because either Fudo uses their weakness and kills Genjuro right now, and it fucking sucks because Genjuro is dead, and then Fudo himself is maybe, hopefully, is taken down by Tsubasa, or Fudo just decides, yeah, I'm just gonna sit this one out. She could have killed me, she didn't. I'm good. I'm just gonna watch what's going on and not do anything. I've been defeated. Yeah, sure. You got me there. I pinky promise to not do anything. Here, cuff me, please, and take me to the police station. And he's just not going to do anything. And that's also not gonna be great. That's gonna be kind of fucking shit if that's what happens. And very often it is what happens. The villain who was all genocidal and had no qualms about killing anybody gets bonked in the head, saved by someone, and he's just like, oh, you won. I mean, fair's fair. Cuff me up, daddy. And their genocidal thoughts and their mania and their violence and their everything just is no longer there. He could rip those caps apart. He could break through the jail cell with just his fist. But he's not going to. Because he's been defeated. So, fair's fair. I wonder how they continue that. Because they can solve Fudo's issues in a garbage way, where he kills someone or tries to fight someone and is killed anyway. No, actually, they can solve it in a good way as well. Fudo tries to kill someone, doesn't succeed, and is cut down. That's probably the best way they can go about it. Fudo tries attacking Genjiro, but Genjiro turns around and puts his hand through Fudo's chest. That's the only good way they can solve Fudo's issue. Or doesn't have to be Genjiro, could be Tsubasa, could be Tsubasa's father, could be fucking Ogawa, I don't care, someone. Garbage way to solve it would be Fudo getting a chance at killing somebody, and after succeeding at killing somebody, then getting killed himself. That would suck balls, but I guess it's better than nothing because it ends up with Fudo dead. And the absolute garbage way they can go about it is having Fudo just give himself up and go to jail, go to prison for 80 years, and then get out of prison and start a rug cleaning business and be reformed. Like, there's only one way out of three that I would deem acceptable. But I'm not going to get that ahead of myself. There's no point in that, because we don't know how it's going to end. They turned into a curse for me, the coward that I am. I like this moment. Heki Hetjarada, don't worry, you'll be fine. And yeah, I can't offer you more. What can I give you? Nothing. I can just give you my support. That's cool. I like it. And yeah, every curse might also be a blessing, and every blessing might also be a curse. I feel he might be onto something. I think he's actually right saying that he might be onto something. Where is it? Symphogear XV. Every blessing is a curse. Every blessing can be a curse, and vice versa. Hibidad. I wonder if that actually is maybe the finale of the season. The Curse of Balal isn't really a curse. It actually helps humanity because it keeps the Custodians away, or, you know, something like that. I'm sure by this time next year everyone will be quoting me. Episode 13, time skipped, after credits scene, everybody's quoting him. The quote is in the textbooks. It wouldn't surprise me. And Hibiki rushes off to save the world again. And then there's this scene. Some machinery on the surface of the moon turning on. Who turned it on? Why is it turning on? Why is the video stuck? I don't know. This has a similar structure to the what was it called? The sunken thing that Ver rised up from the ocean floor in that one season. Arc, I don't remember what it was called, but it's the same architecture. So probably similar technology. Probably, maybe not similar purpose, but it lights up. It has a spike at the end. It probably can shoot the earth or something. It's probably some sort of a weapon. We'll see. Okay. So, to sum it up, on one hand, cool episode with cool fights. I really did enjoy seeing Genjiro in combat again. Tsubasa's fight against Fudo was also great. I just don't like how it ended. I really did enjoy the little moments of Hibiki and her dad. I didn't think I would actually enjoy any scenes with her dad, but those were probably the best part of this episode, honestly. Probably the best parts. Like, not talking in the speaking in the like story sense and character sense. When it comes to animation and hype and action and whatnot, of course we had Genjiro fight, which is probably the highlight. But that story, that part of the story of this season, kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. It's not often that I use such harsh words, that I have such harsh critique for any episode of Symphogear, but this one really rubbed me the wrong way. It really did. Again, I understand from the meta standpoint, from the meta perspective, why it was done, right? That's just how Japanese media culture is. The heroes should be heroic under any circumstance, they cannot be evil, they cannot kill. And the villains are villainous under any circumstances, they cannot be good, they only kill. Very black and white kind of a balance. So of course, Tsubasa wouldn't be allowed to kill Fudo. The only way to actually have Fudo killed would probably be if Shemha kills Fudo. That's probably how it's going to go, if Fudo is to die. Shemha kills Fudo, then Hibiki frees Miku from Shemha's grasp, thus Shemha is defeated, villain kills villain, then villain gets defeated by a hero in a non-killing way, and everything ends well. Probably how it's going to go. But I honestly would much rather have preferred if Tsubasa actually killed Fudo there. Give her PTSD, make her have some self-loathing that she killed her biological father and grandfather and whatnot. Sure, go through that. Absolutely. 100%, I'm down. I would love to see Tsubasa depressed because of that and trying to work it out in her head whether what she did was actually good and just or was it not. Was she doing that in a fit of rage, or was she doing that because it was the right thing to do? Give me that, please. But having Tsubasa be stopped by Genjiro and having Fudo just sitting ducks there, not the way to go. In my mind, not the way to go. If Fudo attacked Genjiro there and then was slain by Tsubasa or slain by Genjiro, that would be more appropriate. If Fudo just did Kagebushi no Jutsu or whatever and just poofed out of existence and left a log with his face plastered on it in his place and just run away, that would be more appropriate. It would suck because they let him go just like that, and he's gonna keep causing issues. But having Fudo just be there like, yeah, I guess I lost. Oh, what's the slides? Oh, something's going on. Cool, I'm just gonna sit here by the tree. Not gonna do anything. I was a genocidal maniac just 5 seconds ago, but right now, I don't feel like it. My back kinda hurts. Oh, the ripe old age of 120. My bones are not that good no more. I was hype for the most part of this episode, but then they spared Fudo, and I just fucking deflated. Honestly. I wonder how they're going to write themselves out of this conundrum. Is Fudo going to die by Shemha? Actually, why not note it down? Fudo killed by Shem Ha slash Fudo jailed slash Fudo killed Fudo kills someone and is killed slash Fudo attacks someone and is killed. Those are the only 4 ways I can see it going, and like 2 of those don't suck. So I wonder which ones they're going to go with. Anything else? I wonder what's going to happen to Miku and Shemha. Because I wonder what's going to happen to them. The alchemists tampered with her programming or whatever, and I wonder what they did exactly. Because they certainly didn't transfer the control authority onto themselves. Otherwise they would still be alive, which they aren't. So is perhaps Shemha right now running without restraint? Nobody has control over her. That would probably be what happens. But then, how did the alchemists fail exactly? I wonder if the key to stopping Shemha is getting to that console and somehow exerting control, if it is at all possible, that is. And of course, again, surprising how easily and unceremoniously the alchemists were killed. It's not out of character for the story to do that, because they are the disposable ones, for Fudo at least, so them having an unceremonious death isn't out of the ordinary, out of the question, isn't that surprising. But on the other hand, it's surprising that they got rid of those characters this easily. I thought there's going to be something more done with them. I thought they might even get a good ending. I don't know. We'll see if they are truly dead. I guess maybe Milark and the other one are dead because they are biological beings. Meanwhile, the cyborg lady, whose name I forgot, might still be savable. Maybe. Just spitballing here. And kind of wishful thinking. Because they aren't bad characters, they were just used to do villainy. Of course, they are hard to redeem, no doubt about that, but they are redeemable to a degree. So I would hope that, for once, in recent memory, the villain gets a good end. Or the antagonist, rather, because the villain is Fudo. And I don't wish good end on him. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I don't think I have anything more to say. Maybe I'll come up with something. If so, I'm gonna say it at the beginning of the next episode. But right now, that's gonna be it. Maybe you have something more to say. If so, do say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please, as always. My Discord is here, also linked in the description below. You can join it. There's a Symphogear channel. That's where you can discuss spoilers to your heart's content. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel somewhere here to be notified of future releases of not only Symphogear XV, but also Gundam Witch from Mercury, Ancient Magus Bride, and I have some other shows to also watch. Oyukime no Kaina movie coming sometime in the future. I also have Benedria Saito-san Isekai ni Iku to finish, and some other shows that will be coming in the future, of course. I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell icon to be notified when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, for example, link in the description below. For $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, Madoka Magica, and others, and for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreon supporters: QB, Bobbin, Without a Net, Fruit, Zay Rainer, Acomancer, Marsh, Yuki Ally, Cure Dynamic, Fassel, and Dr. Walt and Hans Peter. And if you want to join them, you can, and you don't need to be a god to do that.